Welcome everybody, July 31st, 2025. This is Steve Cunningham with Sense Fidelity. I'm doing the Clown Planet Daily Update. Now, there are some people that only had a few that have reached out saying they don't like this show. It's not meant for everybody. If you don't like it, just move on to the next one. There's usually now 2 to 3 videos posted per day. Compared to every other channel in the world, I think I'm the only one that does multiple videos every day, and I have that scheduled out for the next 3 years. So I know there was a lady that commented and said she desubscribed so that she could get to one that has daily Saints of the Day. You find me some other channel has more Saints of the Days than I do, go for it. Like I said, the next 3 years, actually the next 7. Every day has a video coming out for Saints of the Day. And the only reason why I say 3 is because YouTube doesn't allow me to schedule out longer than 3 years from the exact from the end of the month on. So I can schedule out July 31st, 2027, but I can't go any further until the next month and the next month. So I'll be scheduling out for a few years out. Anyways, let's get back to it. Again, this is just showing no one else is talking about things like this. So I figured I am. If someone else wants to do it, please take up that, if anybody with a bigger footprint can do it, I'm all welcome. I'll take a seat back, get back to doing other things other videos that no one really cares about. Saints of the Day. The reason why I jokingly say that, because if you look at the Saints of the Day ones, they get about 100 views. So anyways, let's get right to this. I showed this yesterday with Trump launching the digital health tech ecosystem. Again, and this goes back into religion in a sense, because when all this stuff, the digital ID and all this comes out, we will be affected on being able to drive to a church. You want to tie it to somebody, say like you want to give donations to your favorite religious order. Good luck when the digital ID and digital currency comes out. You think you're going to get paid, from your job or anything. You might not have a job come with all this stuff, with all the technocracy coming down. So, I mean, yes, stay in the holiness. Focus on the faith first. I'm just showing you stuff you're not going to see on regular TV. And unless you're watching alternative media, I'm the only one really pushing this stuff out. And again, someone else wants to do it, go for it. I do not want to be the only one doing this. Anyway, so Trump launches this digital health tech ecosystem to bring healthcare into the digital age with trusted partners like OpenAI, Amazon, Anthropic, Apple, Microsoft AI, and Google. Again, I brought this up yesterday. Day one of the Trump's second term here, Stargate. Look it up. I was literally the only person talking about this. Rick and I on News from the Pew, the only ones that brought this up. Stargate, day one. Type it in, look it up. Again, Last American Vagabond has a couple great articles about that. What did they do? That was the mRNA tech that came out, the cancer jabs. Obama started it. Gave it to Brandon when Brandon was VP. $100 billion at the time. Brandon took the reins, went with it during his term. And then Trump decided to take it on and spike the football in a sense. $500 billion went to it. They're all on the same team. David Ike writes, I said amid that so much abuse that Trump was the front man to sell AI digital control to his MAGA base on behalf of the cult-owned AI oligarchs, and now every day it moves on and on to a unified AI human control system. But still the MAGA and the sycophant media make excuses for him, head shaker. And the reason why I bring that up, what he says, because I was saying that at the same time, a year ago, months before the election, everyone was losing their mind. Oh, Kamala's going to do it. I was telling friends, guys, she hasn't, it's already rigged. He's going in 100%. Relax, going in. Why? Because if Kamala was doing stuff like this, people would be out. The same people cheering on her being silent would be outraged. But since it's their guy, or we love him, or, he took a photo with the Fatima statue, or, oh, well, he's the one that got rid of Roe, which was Supreme Court, not him. We're going to put our head in the sand and just let this go. Or, IVF comes out. Oh, we're not going to take this. We're not going to say anything about this. This is going to get bad. Here's what's going on in Australia, because we have people in Australia watch. Australia's digital ID and human verification system to facilitate labor's e-safety laws will see most of that verification go through who? Israeli firm AU10TICS, Australia 10TICS. AU10TICS sites creating digital twins for digital biometric identification. Not comfortable with that. Again, a lot of this was going on months ago. We already talked about a lot of this technocrat stuff was going through AI, was going through Israel. They're doing a lot of this stuff. Today, we've outlined just how far Australian government will go to get digital ID and surveillance in place this year, happening in unison in United Kingdom and Europe. Ready for a bigger picture? UN Globalist Agenda 2030 Global Digital ID. And you know it's coming. And like I said, was talking about this years ago. It was called a tinfoil hat weirdo. Now it's in regular news. Last America Vagabond retweeted this. Just came up in my recent interview with 7Cs. That's a cool account, by the way, wherein I go over Trump's new private health tracking system, and we discuss where this is all going. This clip is from 2023 discussing commercial data, Palantir, used to make ethnic bioweapons. I'll go ahead and play that. It's one of the other ones I took down to play.
One of the things we're talking about here is that there are now weapons under development and developed that are designed to target specific people. Right, that's what this is, where you can actually take someone's DNA, take their medical profile, and you can target a biological weapon that will kill that person or take them off the battlefield or make them inoperable. So you can't have a discussion about this without talking about privacy and commercial data and the protection of commercial data, because expectations of privacy have degraded over the last 20 years. Young folks actually have very little expectation of privacy. That's what the polling and the data show. And people will very rapidly spit into a cup and send it into 23andMe and get really interesting data about their background. And guess what? Their DNA is now owned by a private company and can be sold off with very little intellectual property protection or privacy protection. And we don't have legal and regulatory regimes to deal with that. So we have to have an open and public discussion, and this is going to have to be a political discussion about what does the protection of healthcare information, DNA information, and your data look like, because that data is actually going to be procured and collected by our adversaries for the development of these systems.
Doesn't that make you feel all warm and fuzzy? I hit the wrong button. It says, quote, now there are now weapons that are designed to target specific people. You can actually take someone's DNA and target a biological weapon that will kill them. But I thought the entirely event mainstream media just got done telling us that this was an anti-Semitic lie RFK spread. They've been doing that for the last couple of years too. Lavender, you hear lavender out in Israel doing lavender, the gospel. They're using that to target systems like this. Geopolitics and empire. This move echoes the dark practices of digital colonialism, where small nations are pressured or bribed into giving away access to sensitive data systems under the guise of security cooperation. This is from Biometric Update. Belize, U.S. biometric data sharing agreement called digital colonialism. Hey, by the way, again, all these are in the show notes underneath right now. If you want to check it out, just go down there, click, and you can get off my screen if you want. Check out something else, or just share it with your friend that, maybe you got a friend that thinks everything's just, oh no, that's just crazy stuff. Those lines in the sky are just normal clouds, or they're not trying to dim the sky or anything like that. Just send them these links. That's why the links are there. Here's YouTube coming out on August 13th. Again, this is for the old protection of teens. Protection U.S. users will now estimate under 18. Protections include enabling digital well-being tools, showing only non-personalized ads, and more. Team YouTube did respond. They will respond to you on Twitter. I've asked them quite a few times. Why you guys keep shadow banning me? And they go, oh, no one's shadow banning. Your stuff just stinks and no one else wants to watch it. Literally, that's what they told me. We've always had the option for age verification via ID or credit card if someone is incorrectly estimated to be under 18. This update is about using better tech to make these estimations. So, people were saying, how long till you guys start losing money on this? Which again, they're using this as a front. Hey, this is good for the kids. We're going to protect the kids. It's all about the kids. They do not give what about the kids. They're using this to get people to say, okay, yeah, this is great for security. Just like TSA, give a little bit of security, lose a lot of liberty. And when I was driving Uber, people would always comment about TSA. I would bring it up just because they couldn't jump out of the car, and I would, tell them my thoughts. I guess I have to take off my shoe and take off my belt if, make sure the terrorists don't blow me up. Really? How many have they ever caught? 0 is still the number, 0. But, people live in fear. Not giant. Watch China robot. Well, there was a giant in there. China robot giant unveils Tesla Optimus killer that can fist fight. What a name. Unitree R1. Unitree R1 intelligent companion price from $5,900. Join us to develop customized ultra lightweight at approximately 25 kilograms, integrated with a large multimodal model for voice and images. Let's accelerate the advent of the real era of the agent era. When do they get to put human flesh on there? So they had to just create one with Arnold's voice just to mess with everybody. You can't hear it, but they got music blasting in the background. So I got this thing muted. And that's good for them, for most people. Call it the T1, T10. Trump administration is launching a new private health tracking system with big tech's help. That's what we led off with today. The initiative will focus on diabetes and weight management, controversial AI that helps patients, and digital tools such as QR codes and apps that register patients for check-ins or track medications. For decades, America's healthcare networks have been overdue for a high-tech upgrade, President DJT said during the event with company CEOs at the White House on Wednesday. The existing systems are often slow, costly, and incomparable with one another. But with today's announcement, we take a major step to bring healthcare into the digital age. That is a terrifying idea. What did Obama do? He brought that in with Obamacare. I remember sitting I worked at, if you believe it or not, I worked at Time Warner Cable as the call guy. So if you called complaining about your internet, you got me. And I was supposed to sell you on something on there. And I remember going through the orientations, and everyone had to have health insurance because that was the qualification of Obamacare, and it was all digital. That was the main thing, getting rid of the paper thing, getting the digital, because it was supposed to be more convenient. Then what did that one? Led to another, led to another, led to another, led to another. And I was in the medical field before that too, seeing all this. Let's see. Oh, did I hit that twice? Guess I did hit that twice. Meta share soars as ad business continues to fuel AI ambitions. The company held its top capital spending projections steady for the first time this year, and issue investors have watched closely. Meta Platforms up 11.50%, posted 22% revenue growth in the second quarter. You just sit back and imagine how's Facebook, Meta? How is really that shows you that they're in bed with the government. It was in bed with the government, a private corporation and government. I think it was enough for it. I think it is. Microsoft officially tops $4 trillion in market cap, joining NVIDIA in exclusive club. Microsoft stock climbed after reporting strong earnings, pushing the company's market cap past $4 trillion. The software giant reported better than expected quarterly results and said Azure's annual revenue topped $75 billion. NVIDIA became the first company to reach the $4 trillion mark earlier this year. Congratulations. And it's another thing. When everyone goes to these things, they got their cell phones up, they're living through everyone, their brother. There's always got to be one person just like, you know what? I'm going to watch through my eyes. Because how many people literally look at their cell phone? I was at this concert. Let me look up that concert again. Never do that. No one does that. Here's the FO2 humanoid robot doing laundry, not teleoperated, but by using an AI neural network. There was a lot of people that just retweeted this going, why? Why are you? Now I get it. If there's somebody, an invalid or something like that, that needed or maybe someone that has broken legs or something, just couldn't make it to the laundry to do their laundry, but still, you're probably not living by yourself. So now we need a robot to do your laundry. Remember Rocky? Was it Rocky 3? He had the robot. Was it Rocky 3? Yeah, Rocky 3, Club of Lane one. He had a little robot thing. James Lee just got off the phone with a TikTok insider warning me that they are in the process of doing a full sweep to ban accounts that have posted anti-Israel, pro-Palestine content, and that I should probably delete this post right away. No, that's just going to get to YouTube, and then I'm going to have to get rid of all the daily updates. ICE officers could face jail time under Michigan bill to ban masked police. Trump administration officials say this practice is needed to safeguard ICE officers and their families from being harassed or threatened in public and online. They should be masked anyways. I mean, law enforcement come in and conceal your face. You look like a bandit. I mean, what do you expect? So, yeah. It's funny how now we're anti-mask after 5 years ago when you were arrested for not having a muzzle on your face. Here's the War Pigs update. Israel gives Hamas annexation ultimatum. Settlers march to Gaza border, say it will be ours forever. Arab states call on Hamas to disarm, give up governance. Israeli forces kill 111 in Gaza over the last 24 hours. 7 more Palestinians starved to death in Gaza. Sure, that's updated. That not the updated figure. Record number of Senate Democrats vote against Israel arms deal. Just to let you know what that is. Not to worry about the Democrat. Record number of Democrats vote to block weapons sales for Israel. Record, well, the resolution sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders failed in the face of all Republicans voting. Get out of the ads. Voting against the measure and 20 Democrats. Senators voted 27-70, defeating Sanders' resolution, which sought to block more than $675 billion in weapons sales to Israel. We've already given a lot of weapons and money to them. This is another 675 that we're going to extend towards most favored nation. The second resolution gained 27 in favor and 73 against. That resolution sought to prohibit the sale of tens of thousands of fully automatic assault rifles. Whatever happens tonight, history will condemn those who failed to act in the face of these horrors, Sanders said ahead of the vote. It was the third time Sanders put senators on record over their military support for Israel. The April vote garnered 15 Democrat senators. A vote in November 24 garnered 18. I will continue to stand up for the existence of Israel and the safety of its citizens. I will also continue to support Israel's right to defend itself. Drink. But I cannot in good conscience vote in support of weapons until the human anguish in Gaza comes to an end. Well, at least she got that. Global food prices are creeping up again. Yay. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, if you're nasty, the FAO Food Price Index climbed to 128 points in June 2025, indicating a 28% increase in global food prices compared to the 2014-2016 base period. Again, grow your own food. You're going to need it, especially if the stable coins come in and it's programmable, which they say, and worse than CBDC, which they say. You might not be able to buy groceries with the digital ID and all that stuff that's coming down. Learn to start gardening. Learn what do you want. Figure out what you like to eat. Put it together. Figure out what you want to grow. Practice now before it becomes needed. Then you'll be all right when things really get the fan. And now, heat-wise, make sure you got stuff that, again, practice. See what works in the heat. See what works in the cold. Figure out how to keep things from dying in the cold. Such in gardening. Gardening for the spring, gardening in the fall. Right now, you can plant stuff for the winter, for the fall, and maybe in the winter. So yeah, get stuff, and then it'll save you some money too. I mean, how much does basil cost? Go to the store, probably what, $5? I don't know. I haven't bought basil in quite some time because I grow it out back. When you can start out with a $1.50 or $2 bag of seeds. You got like 1,000 seeds in it, and if you let them go to seed, then you get free seeds, so you never have to buy seeds again. But you can still use the food. And watermelons right now. By the way, watermelon and cantaloupe, that's great during the sun, because if you get sunburnt, the vitamin C and things like that are in fruits and vegetables that are in growing right now help your skin, so you don't have skin cancer and things like that. And don't put the poison on you. That's stuff that actually causes the cancer. We're moving far off. I'm about to get my tinfoil hat here in a second. High death toll in Kiev from overnight strikes as Russia reports major advance in East. Killing at least 8 people, unusually high death toll strikes on the city. I got Zelensky here in a second. Trump envoy says this time oil sanctions on Russia will bite. Yeah, that's what I was hoping that they would do that. Gas is still $2.80 here, but hey, it was supposed to be $1.20 somewhere, I'm told, but it's $2.80 here, and actually $2.80 in South Carolina, which is cheaper in here. I know everybody was looking forward to this. I guarantee Mark, I know Mark's in the chat. He's going to get this book. I know you are, Mark Becker. Yeah, you probably pre-ordered this. Kamala Harris, or Cackles, if you're friendly with her, opens up about her historic presidential run after Biden's exits in her new memoir, 107 Days. And I hope AI wrote that. DJT says, wow, Canada has just announced it is back in statehood for Palestine. That will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, Canada. It is. Grace Kong says, what does this have to do with America? Oh, Canada. Trump threatens to blow up trade talks as Carney to recognize Palestinian state because it's all about most favored nation. This has nothing to do with those two groups, the federal government in D.C. and Canada. But just because they're going to recognize Palestine, they're going to be upset about it. Oh, forgive me. Speaking of Palestine, let me get that up. Life science. Yeah, I talked about that last time. Carter Pizza Bala. Where's it at? Yeah, if you have to help, I know St. John Henry Newman is going to be named Dr. Church. I'm sure everyone's already saw that already. Here it is right here. And Italian cardinals worked closely with Leo XIV for several years. Candidly denounced Israel Prime Minister Benjamin war criminal Netanyahu and his nation's unbridled and illogical evil being committed against the people of Gaza. Quote, he is a tyrant pursuing a dark and bloody plan for power. Cardinal Augusto Palalo Lojudis, 61, said in a July 21st interview with Italy's La Stampa, apart from Donald Trump, who is only interested in selling weapons, no one accepts his legitimization anymore. Good on the Cardinal. I know there's people commenting that are blasting him just because they're Team Party politics people. Good on the Cardinal for that. White House unveils plans for $200 million East Wing ballroom. This goes on to, hey, we don't have a king, and we really don't have a monarchy, and the elite really don't exist. The White House intends to begin construction in September on a new ballroom, estimated to cost $200 million, following through President Trump's plans for a larger space to host formal events. The plan outlines the construction of a 9,000 square foot space with the seating capacity of 650 people. Apparently now Trump is paying that with his own pocket. Fantastic. I thought I had photos of that. If you see the photos for this thing, it is spectacular. Again, it makes you think, well, we don't. If you ever heard the term the political elite, that's it, the elite ruling class. There you go again. If you don't look at that and say, wow, we have a monarchy, I don't know what has to happen for that to be in your mind. The federal government is paying more than 154,000 people not to work. Again, UBI will be part of that. I mean, that's UBI in a sense. They're paying them retirement. What is it? They're giving them a universal basic income. JT, Justin Timberlake, reveals secret health battle and confesses symptoms had been relentlessly debilitating on tour. Apparently, he's got Lyme disease, which, if you know about that, Lyme was creation of the federal government and weaponized into ticks. Don't worry, you can look it up and you'll find all that too. Huh? This city could run dry within weeks as it grapples with an acute water crisis. Iran's capital, Tehran, could be weeks away from day zero, experts say, the day when taps run dry for large parts of the city as the country suffers a severe water crisis. Key reservoirs are shrinking. Authorities are scrambling to reduce water consumption, and residents are desperately trying to conserve it to stave off catastrophe. Catastrophe. To stave off catastrophe. Sorry for hooked on phonics, right? I was thinking when I was reading it, going, I wonder if the capital will have any problems. New York City. Yes, New York City braces for severe flooding, up to 5 inches of rain, with the worst to hit during evening rush hour. They again takes back to the Tehran thing. We're manipulating the air, we're manipulating the weather, so you get these extremes all over. It's the same thing down here. We had it 100 degrees for the last 10 days. And tomorrow is supposed to be, it's not even supposed to be 80 here. About a 20-degree difference. Never seen that before. And supposed to have some rain now, but it ain't raining right now. I planted some seeds for lettuce, but nothing's happening. But yeah, it's supposed to be a nice cold front that comes through. National Weather Service predicted up to 3 inches an hour across parts of the cities. Forecasters warned the worst soaking could be felt between 5 and 6 p.m. just as people attempt to trek home. So it should be downpouring right now, and everyone should be getting on the arc and out of the subway. I don't know if anybody in New York has confirmed that. City rattle. California struck by 2 earthquakes within minutes as 4.4 magnitude tremors shake the city of Angels. Center in San Bernardino County. The shaking was reported at 9:32 local time. People across the Indian Empire felt the earthquakes, even in San Diego County. Quite a few aftershocks. Amplifying confirms. Earthquake occurred 7.4 was out there. Unfortunately, well, that's at the tip of the continent. Oh, no things there. Okay. Well, they're on a fault line. It's supposed to happen. So it's kind of like people living in Florida or the Carolinas, and they say, "Hey, you got a hurricane." We have hurricanes. California, you have earthquakes. If you go in the middle of the heartland, you have tornadoes. Delta flight diverted, 25 sent to hospital after significant turbulence. Remember we had that article yesterday on talking about why is there so much turbulence? Again, you manipulate the air, the weather. You're putting all this stuff up in the sky, unstable things. You're going to have this stuff. Here's a kind of a video of it from Fox this morning, I think. There's supposed to be, the flight was going from Utah to Amsterdam, and a couple of people made a joke saying, I know what everyone's thinking. What are Mormons doing going to Amsterdam? New world record. Weather satellites detect a 515-mile-long lightning flash. This mega flash occurred in 2017, stretched from Texas to Missouri. Why is they publishing that 9 hours ago? 2017. They just got around to typing this up. No, I didn't read this before. I'm going, why in the world in 2017? You know what? Let me go ahead and write about that mega flash. You got nothing else. Slow news day. Your favorite model, thanks to AI, they might not be real. And again, we're showing those AI videos we showed the other day. Got to question everything. A new satanic neo-Nazi group is recruiting children as young as 12. I'm not even going to try to figure out what that says. An extremist youth group based around the messaging app Signal is already discussing attacks on schools and places of worship. Let's see, apparently it's in southwestern Germany. Mexican cartels using Ukrainian front line to learn about drone warfare. Probe launched after suspicion drug gangs are using Ukraine's front line as a training ground for domestic drone warfare. Yeah, it says that captured drone warfare has proven effective in the war between Russia and Ukraine. It's video games, man. Everybody knows how to play video games. You know how to take out with drones. Mass circumcision ceremony leaves 39 boys dead and dozens more mutilated after botched procedures during tribal initiation in South Africa. Representative Green introduces Clean Skies Act, banning weather modification, geoengineering. Woo! Congresswoman MTG Margie the Gathering has introduced the Clear Skies Act of 2025, calling for an end to what she calls the dangerous and deadly practice of weather modification and geoengineering. That's change I can believe in. The bill, designated H.R. 4403, would prohibit weather modification through the use of geoengineering, cloud seeding, and solar radiation management through the release of chemicals into the atmosphere to change the weather, temperature, climate, or to just block out the sun. If enacted, the law would punish weather modification violations as a felony, with offenders facing up to $100,000 in fines and/or 5 years in prison for each violation. Throw them in alligator Alcatraz. Good on her. Green says her bill is similar to Florida's SB 56, which repeals the state's ability to issue permits for geoengineering and weather modification, prohibits the injection, release, or dispersion of chemicals or substances into the atmosphere for the express purpose of altering weather, climate, temperature, and or sunlight intensity. Under the Clear Skies Act, all existing federal authority and executive orders permitting weather modification would be repealed, and the EPA and DOJ would be directed to investigate and prosecute violations. Man, that'd be great. HB 4403 will also create a public reporting system that would allow Americans to report suspicious activity in which the EPA would be required to investigate. Now, personally, I don't think anything's going to happen, but I like it. Shocking. Liver cancer cases set to double by 2050. What years? That's a year supposed to be significant. Oh yeah, that's the that's the WEF Great Reset date. Again, anyway, if you want to help with liver, dandelion and burdock root, and I actually make a tincture of that. There's a burdock root around here somewhere. Yeah, all my stuff's right here, literally next to me. And just get dandelion, burdock root, put it in a glass, put it in a mason jar. This is passion flower in here, but put it about right here. Put some liquor, the rest of the all the way up. Take it every day, and you have your own liver health medicine right there. Just take a drop, put in a dropper, bada bing, done. 1 in 4 antibiotic drugs linked to disrupted gut health. Yeah, we mentioned this yesterday again. Other ideas: reishi, cordyceps, lion's mane. Do the same thing what I just did. You can grab it. You can get I have some lion's mane right here. There's some lion's mane powder. Actually, you can grow it. Have some that actually grow. You can slice them up, put them in the things. Same idea. Put whatever alcohol you want on it. Set it there for 4 to 6 weeks and use it in a dropper. Bada bing. Some kind of fever. Chikungunya, whatever fever, spreading rapidly in South China. CCP downplays outbreak. Downplays outback. Fever spread rapidly in most places in the Guangdong province and spilled over to other parts of China. Local residents told the Epoch Times that the Chinese communist regime is forcing residents into quarantine and asking them to pay for it, which many people cannot afford. Sorry, I thought that was funny. You're not only going to quarantine, you're going to pay for your own prison. Viral diseases are mainly transmitted to humans by mosquitoes. If you make sure you have some dragonflies, you won't have any mosquitoes. Its symptoms are similar to dengue fever. Patients usually experience fever, severe joint pain, muscle pain, headache, fatigue, and rash. It has the potential to be fatal. Here's the Scream Club. This is, again, this clown plan, they're named for it. Chicagoans are discovering a unique way to relieve stress by gathering on Sunday evenings to scream into Lake Michigan. Good night, everybody. it's kind of like that beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life here. Somebody told people to do this, and they went with it. Again, this goes into 10 examples that show our society is going completely nuts or insane. Number one, the Screen Club. In Chicago, a very large group of liberals meet every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. to scream their heads off. Screen Club Chicago. Eventually, there's going to be other places that have it. Screen Club Indianapolis, Screen Club Charleston. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, has an unorthodox way to let some steam off and make life a little easier. The group meets on North Atlantic Beach Pier every Sunday at 7 p.m., where they breathe deeply and collectively scream into the open air over Lake Michigan. The group was started by Manny Hernandez, a breathwork coach. What is that? Who is looking for an outlet to deal with stress. I got some ideas. He invited others to join him in the screaming ritual on social media. Now the weekly therapy session are growing in popularity. I bet that guy's raking in tons of cash for just what you need to do. I won't do it. I was going to say get loaded. Don't get loaded. Just come up with whatever crazy idea comes to your mind, run with it, and people will probably go with it. Number two, and it feels like the David Letterman. Number two, in America today, the violent lunatic walking next to you could snap at any moment. At a Walmart in Michigan, a man that was shopping in the grocery store suddenly pulled out a knife and started stabbing people. I remember people talked about that a couple days ago. There was a guy, an African-American man, pulled a hero move. He drew his pistol and tried to stop the attacker. Number three, there are more than 500,000 victims of child abuse in the United States. A recent case in Florida was particularly horrifying. 4 adults were arrested after being accused of abusing 9 children in their Florida home by caging them with plywood under a bunk bed and spraying them in the face with vinegar as a form of punishment, authorities said Friday. Husband and wife, Brian and Jill Griffith, along with 21-year-old Balin and 19-year-old Liberty Griffith, were arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse, the Columbia County Sheriff's Office said in a statement Friday. 4 adults suspected of abusing 5 biological and 4 adopted children, ages 7 to 16, at their home in Fort White, Florida, roughly 35 miles from Gainesville. Number 4, some school districts are now paying kids to come to school because chronic absenteeism has become so pervasive. Educators are trying to incentivize students to come to school, with some districts even paying students for their attendance. I wish I could get paid to go to high school. Others have encouraged, which actually, athletes are now because of the name, image, and likeness. Others have encouraged teachers to have attendance count towards grades or limit the number of assignments that can be completed online. 20 states reported more than 30% of their students miss at least 3 works. Okay. Number 5, mad scientists feel like they have the right to play God without our permission. For example, not too long ago, a group of mad scientists on the West Coast attempted to conduct an unauthorized geoengineering experiment in San Francisco Bay, which was intended to dim the sun. Number 6, it is projected that Canada will euthanize 15 million of their own citizens by 2047, and the U.S. is heading down the exact same path. Number 7, often some of the worst crimes are happening in some of the wealthiest neighborhoods. For example, somehow a wealthy Chinese couple in LA was able to collect and abuse 21 children before authorities finally caught on to them. Number 8, major cities over the nation become rotting, decaying hellholes. Can you guess which large city is being described in these paragraphs? Speaking of the public board of public commissioners meeting on Tuesday, local mayor Frank Scenaro said he was concerned about the levels of crime, property crime, stolen vehicles, teens running through the neighborhood, armed and shooting firearms. These are not innocent petty crimes. They are violent individuals who are out to do harm to us, and we're tired of it happening. Is it LA? No, it isn't LA. It isn't San Fran. It isn't New York City. New York City. It isn't Chicago. The city being described is actually Kansas City. Kansas City. I am old enough to remember when Kansas City was still a very civilized place. Number 9, the experts are now admitting that more than a quarter of our population is mentally ill. According to Johns Hopkins, approximately 26% of of all Americans suffer from a diagnosable mental disorder in a given year. Number 10, these days, many Americans are actually romanticizing the apocalypse simply because they want all the madness to finally end. Again, what I'll hopefully get out of this with people like that is maybe get your prayer life up a little bit more. Focus on why you do some of the devotions you're doing. First Friday's tomorrow, first Saturday is this weekend. You, instead of just going in because you're like used to going in, hey, it's first Saturday, first Friday. Maybe let's figure out, hey, the world's going to hell in a handbasket in a sense. It's on fire. It's going crazy. We may need to pray actually harder and do a little bit more for other people, our neighbor, charity, such like that. So again, in a good way, it's a way to get you an idea of like, hey, it's nuttier than what I thought it was supposed to be, and we need to step up a little bit. Again, we are the light of the world. We're supposed to help. As the church goes, the world goes. Maybe if we start focusing a little bit more and become better at Catholics as well, that this stuff will help clean itself out. Won't eliminate everything, but at least when you go into mass next time, maybe think about, hey, I need to, maybe I'll offer up communion for this, or make sure I, evangelize a little bit more. We could evangelize a lot more. I mean, look, there's plenty of people probably on the Chicago Pier at 7 p.m. that needs, as they say, needs some Jesus in their lives. They're screaming at the lake for stress. Crazy town. Anyways, God love you. Have a great rest of the day. Again, click like, subscribe underneath, show notes. Try to beat the algorithm. I told you I got 2 videos taken out last couple of days. They didn't get me this today. Yay. So I think we might be safe the rest of the week. Won't count my chickens before it hatches. Comments, all that stuff. Thank you again and take care. Oh, yeah, don't forget about the app, senselessfidelium.tv.